I'm adding music. This actually is the bell we use to start every board meeting. So I think it's only fit that we have it today for this event. And I understand that the musicians are graduating on Sunday. Yeah. Well, congratulations. I can't wait to give you your sheepskin along with President Berger-Sweeney, and thank you for the wonderful introduction to this spectacular event. And even rain can't dampen our enthusiasm, I think, for what we're about to experience. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Corny Thornburg. I am the chair of the Board of Trustees here at Trinity College and the proud member of the class of 1980. Had to get that in there. I am so pleased to be here today as we gather to officially open the Gruss Music Center. And Eric, I know you're going to love to hear these next words, and to celebrate a renewed dedication to music education at Trinity, made possible by the leadership and the philanthropy of so many of you here today. I'm delighted to welcome you to a space dedicated to music education, rehearsal, and performance, where music of all genres will come alive at the hands of talented students, faculty, and guest performers. A warm welcome to some very special guests who have joined us today. Mr. Josh Gru, member of the class of 1996, an early and enthusiastic supporter of this project. Josh. Along with our other leadership donors, Palmer and Finley Harcum. Where are you? Oh, there you are. And Richard Field. We are also very pleased to have with us today principals from the Hartford architectural firm of Smith, Edwards, McCoy. And we have Tyler Smith and Kenton McCoy, the designer of the center. And I would like to also recognize Eric Lamb, Associate Professor of Music and Chair of the Music Department here at the college. You know, I almost called you minister, and in some ways you are, Eric. You know, his vision of music education is really represented here at this center. And through his efforts and those of all of the music faculty, members, and the students who are receiving here an engaging and vibrant music experience. Now, I'd also like to acknowledge Trinity's other music faculty members, and I would ask those in attendance to step forward. If you're seated, please just raise your hand so we can all see you. So maybe just hold your applause until I get through a little bit of a list here. Gail Wadu, Professor of Music. John Platoff, Professor of Music. Jerry Moschel, Professor of Music. Dan Roman, Associate Professor of Music. Nancy Curran, Instrumental Ensembles Coordinator. Jennifer Allen, Visiting Lecturer in Music and Director of the Jazz Ensemble. John Rose, College Organist, Chapel Music Director, and Director of the Trinity College Choir. Christine Melson, Staff Accompanist and Instructor in Music. Professor Emeritus Douglas Johnson. Eric Glam, Associate Professor of Music and Chair of the Music Department. Thank you for your service to Trinity and its students. Let's give them all a round of applause. So thank you for being here today, and I am now very pleased to turn it over to our impresario, President Joanne Berger-Sweeney.
Thank you, Corny. I will read a little bit from my remarks, and then I'm going to stop and tell you a story. Good afternoon. I am so glad that we could all come together to celebrate our new space and the joy of music. As many of you are aware, I am very passionate about the arts and music in particular. Bringing the Gruss Music Center to fruition reinforces the college's commitment to music and the performing arts as an important element of a liberal arts education. This commitment was first solidified with the dedication of the Austin Arts Center, named for A. Everett Austin Jr., former director of the Wadsworth Athenaeum and teacher of Trinity's first experimental art history course. It is home to 2 theaters and an art gallery. And now today, we stand in celebration of the beautiful new Gruss Music Center, which is a natural extension of Austin Arts. The center features a music hall with acoustic treatments to accommodate all genres of music, teaching, rehearsal, and performance. Its electronic music lab more than doubles the technology and seating of the previous space. The center boasts a state-of-the-art recording studio and 4 practice rooms, each with recording capacities. This all comes together to bring vibrant and interactive learning and performance capabilities to the more than 500 Trinity students who take music courses each year and the 23 student music groups that perform on campus. Now I'm going to tell you that here on the ground floor there is an office. And it is the office of Eric Gohm, the professor or the department chair of music at the moment. And when I went in for the first time, I said, "This is an awful nice office, Eric." I think you got a nice view. And Eric is so humble. He felt like he had to justify it. And so what he said to me was, he said, "Well, you know, as we were designing this, I kept saying to people, okay, this is going to be the office. This is going to be my office. I'm chair. Is that okay?" And everyone said, "Yeah, whatever." And he said, "Because nobody thought it was really going to be built." No one thought we were actually going to complete the project. And then we not only completed the project, but he has a very nice eye. But he said at every stage, he told people, "This is going to be the office. Okay? Is this okay to be my office?" So I don't know if all of the department members in music can verify that, but Eric swears to me that you all knew that that was going to be his office. Okay. Let's see. We have a number of you here to thank for bringing this project to life and helping to create these amazing opportunities for our students. On behalf of the college, I would like to take a moment now to recognize each of the project's leadership donors here today. As I call your name, would you please join Corny and me at the podium? Okay. For gifting the Sloan Harcum family entryway in honor of Edward W. Sloan III, Trinity College Professor of History from 1963 to 2001, and his wife, Professor Kathleen Hunter Sloan, who has a master's from 1968. We recognize Mrs. Palmer Sloan Harcum, class of 1982, and Mr. Finley Harcum, proud parents of 2 Trinity alumni, classes of 2010 and 2015, and a current Trinity student. We thank you for your generosity. we're gifting the Stanley O. Hare Jr. 63 practice room in memory of his classmate, founder and director of the a cappella group, the Trinidads. We recognize Mr. Richard Field, class of 1963. Thank you for your support of music at the college. If you'd come forward. If and Mr. Josh Gru, whose support helped make this center a reality. Your gift ensures that music will be an integral part of a Trinity education, now and for a long time forward, for generations of Trinity musicians, writers, and performers. Thank you greatly for enhancing music education at Trinity College and really bringing music to life here. Thank you. I'd like to ask you to share a few thoughts on the new center.
Thank you. Okay. Do a little preparation here. All right, well, thank you, President Berger Sweeney, Professor Eric Gallon, all the donors, and to everyone who made this project possible. I'm thrilled about the results of the project, and I really think this is a momentous day for the music department and all the musicians on campus who now have this wonderful space to call their home. By the way, that was me 20 years ago. I was one of those guys. So anyone who knows me knows that music is my passion, always has been and always will be. I started playing guitar when I was really young. I was fascinated by the electric guitar, by bands like Led Zeppelin and the Beatles. And as early as high school, I knew I wanted to be either a musician or an executive in the music business. Music played a large role in my student life while I was here. I took harmony and theory classes. I took violin classes with Doug Johnson, who I haven't seen for 20 years, and he's standing right there. I promoted concerts. I somehow brought the Dave Matthews Band to play in the Washington Room. I played in several bands. I had to email some old classmates to remember the names of them, but one was called Dr. Zeus with Gruss. And it was a saxophone-heavy funk jam band. So, a little bit like the band that was just playing. And we had gigs all over campus, in the cave, I remember fraternity basements, in the bistro, and on the quad. So Trinity afforded me lots of opportunities to get comfortable performing in front of others. And those performances were incredibly exciting for me and helped build my confidence as a musician. Trinity's small size made it easy to get involved with music. Everyone who played in bands on campus knew each other and were good friends. The talent on campus was astounding. I remember a great student rock band called Electro Betty, who just blew me away every time they performed. Then there was a duo called Courtney and Roland who wrote really smart melodic folk songs, and I was always really impressed by their songwriting. There was a hip-hop funk band that really got people shaking and grooving their thing. I remember them well. Most of these bands shared one drummer. A wild-haired guy named Fro. I just remember everyone called him Fro. Note to the admissions office, we need more drummers on campus. So in addition to sharing Fro, we shared speakers and PA equipment. And it really felt like it was a small community that we had, and I look back fondly on the camaraderie and the bond that the musicians on campus had. Trinity has produced some great music talent. I'm sure that most people know that Rachel Platten, who had a #1 hit song last year with Fight Song, she graduated from Trinity, right? Yeah. She actually graduated? In my class alone, there were many successful musicians as well as leaders in the music business. So one classmate of mine, Rob McDaniels, went on to launch a company called In Grooves. And another classmate, Hank Forsyth, went on to become president of Blue Note Records. So then you have another classmate of mine, Kobe Brown, who just scored the latest Jeremy Irons movie called The Man Who Knew Infinity, and who is still a great friend and someone I work with. So that was just in my class alone and of who I can remember. The city of Hartford provided lots of great opportunities for musicians and for me. I was constantly out seeing concerts in Hartford. The many music venues that are here, the Bushnell, the Webster Theater, what was called the Meadows Amphitheater, I don't know what they call it today. The arena downtown, I don't know what they call it today, but it was called the Civic Center back then. I remember friends and I stood/camped in line all night to buy Guns N' Roses tickets at the Hartford Civic Center. That was 1995 when there was no StubHub or Ticketmaster online. So if you wanted tickets, you had to actually go get them. That might be something students of more recent classes would be hard to imagine. Hartford also afforded me some internship opportunities that were really important. I had one at a radio station and one at a music venue, and I think those were really integral to starting my career in the music business. I would have loved having this music center when I was a student here. I probably would have used it all the time. Is it too late to add a Starbucks? If it had a Starbucks, I would probably move in right now.
2 blocks away.
Yeah.
The building.
Oh, okay. In this building, you can practice, rehearse, and even professionally record music. Bands back in my days rehearsed in their own dorms and recorded on a boombox cassette player. And I hereby apologize to any dorm neighbors who weren't in the band and had to endure listening to all that noise while they were studying for their exams. This building is so great for Trinity. Certainly this building will attract more students to come here. I think touring through this building will just be a serious wow factor. Certainly the music program becomes more robust. But this building delivers something for non-musicians as well. Today, music is the lifeblood of so many new experiences. Think of how many technologies and products revolve around music, whether it's Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Pandora, SiriusXM, Apple Music, the hundreds of apps and video games that revolve around music. It's truly a creative economy out there today, and I believe some exposure to music education will help prepare students for this new economic order. Creative thinking and thinking to learn outside the box is something I've found to be key in business. And I think music education can help open up these avenues to every type of student on campus. Music also brings people together and creates empathy towards other cultures. With the increasing amount of international students on campus, having a space for these students to share their music of their various cultures, I think will be key to embracing those students wholly when they come here. Music is universal and connects people around the world, and I'm sure this will connect everyone here on campus as well. So thank you. Make good use of the Gruss Music Center. And next time I'm bringing my guitar and testing the acoustics of this place.
Okay, before I start, I have to respond to a couple things here. So first of all, when this was being built, people were like, what is this building? And everybody's like, oh, that's the new Starbucks. So literally, for a long time, people are like, "Oh, it's a music building," you know. So they're like, "No, it's going to be a latte machine," you know. So that's one. The second is, I mean, just speaking about this office space. The funny thing is, a student came down and sat down in my office the other day and looked around and said, "You know, this is almost legit." So figure that out, right? And the other thing that's really truly amazing about today is that it was never supposed to happen. You know, we were never supposed to be here celebrating this space, and it's optimism, perseverance, and just keep moving on day to day to make something happen. You know. So thank you. So this is a memorable moment for the music department at Trinity College. After decades, and I'm not exaggerating, decades of planning, we are finally pleased to present a space of our own. And in just a short time, this has already started to pay dividends. First, I'd like to thank James Latzel for developing the concept of a smaller, standalone music performance facility, which has morphed into the building you see here. I'd also like to thank the faculty of the Department of Music who put in a lot of hard work creating a vision for teaching, learning, and music making in this space, and for going through multiple visions and revisions of what it could be. And you know, it's the input from the faculty, but it's also the successes of the students that you see here, because by observing what they like to do, that helped inform, you know, what we wanted, you know, how we conceived of this space. I mean, thinking about the challenges of being a music department today. Well, what is music, right? You know, we have people who show up who have played piano for 10 years before they get here. But we also have people show up saying, I want to be a music major, I'm a musician. Well, what do you play? I'm a producer, I mix loops, you know, I work with a computer. And so we need to, you know, revamp our concept of what is music in a liberal arts education. And this space is a first step in taking that, making that direction possible. And the great thing is that when we bring people in, we can help understand them, help enhance their understanding in the true liberal arts format of once we work with them on their level, then say, well, we can enhance your understanding through learning about music and how music works, and learning about music in a historical and social context. And they leave here totally different people. The three musicians you see here came in as rockers, and they were like, you know, we're going to rock all day, every day, yeah, thank you, right? So, but the thing is that they have all provided testimonials about the power and value of learning how to read music, and how to, you know, understand. I mean, they've, like, the three senior presentations that these guys just did were outstanding, and covered ranging from classical, you know, analysis and comparison of, you know, classical musical structures, but also doing ethnographic studies of the Lower East Side and the punk rock music scene in New York City, you know, and just great stuff. And it's really, we're really, you guys helped shape the space. So, okay, so back to my script, right? So let's see. So none of this would have been possible without the bold vision of Josh Gru, who challenged the college to build a place for music. President Joanne Berger Sweeney answered this challenge and helped to bring this beautiful project to completion. Thanks so much to all the people who made this project possible, including Tom Fuscello, Eric Lamore, Ritz Ubedez, Elisa Griego, Pat Kennedy, and so many others. I could go for 20 minutes with thank yous, but thank you to you all if I didn't mention your name. My colleague John Pladoff, who's currently in China, has long said that if we build it, they will come. Over 100 students have already taken classes within this center And we recorded artists featured at the annual Hip Hop Festival in our studio, and we've had several performances and events in our music hall. Just a few weeks ago, I was giving a tour to some prospective students during the Bantam Visit Days, and I asked the students what they were looking for in a college. And one said, commitment to the arts, new construction. He looked around and he said, you're basically showing it to me right here. A professional musician who's on our private lesson faculty boldly declared that Trinity has the best new recital performance venue in the city of Hartford. Thanks so much to Josh Gru, our other wonderful donors, and President Berger Sweeney for making this all possible. And we look forward to enjoying a lot of music together now and in the future. It has been a long journey, but we're finally here. Thank you.
So thank you, Josh. Thank you, Eric, for your remarks. And in a moment, we're going to go inside the Music Center and hear a performance. But first, I want to acknowledge, I hope the 3 seniors who are playing are still here. David Kleistad, Eben Maeda, and Austin, that's AJ, right? Ballard. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Now may I ask Josh, Eric, and Corny to come up and join me for the ceremonial ribbon cutting before we go inside. You get to be creative.